All right, this is chapter 3, lesson 4, multiply decimals by decimals. Okay, so when we multiply decimals, when multiplying a decimal by a decimal, I multiply as with whole numbers. Okay, to place the decimal point, I find the sum of the number of decimal places in each factor. The product has the same number of decimal places. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. The first example I have says find 3.6 times 0.05. So I multiply just like I normally would, right? 5 times 6 is 30 and I carry the 3. 5 times 3 is 15.
Hey, good yourself.
Alright, so I multiply. 5 times 6 gives me 30. I carry the 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 3 is 18. Okay. So I have 18 down here. And then I've got all these zeros. Okay, so the zeros don't really matter, right? So I can take, there's 1 decimal place here. And there's 2 decimal places here. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. So I move my decimal point 3 spots over. So I get 0.180. Okay. The second example I have says find 0.112 times 7.2. Okay, so I can estimate first. 0.112 probably it's a little less than, it's a lot less than 1. It's a little bit bigger than zeros, but I don't want to use zeros, so I'm going to use 1. And then 7.2 is about 7, so somewhere around 7. It's going to be less than 7 because this number is a lot less than 7. Okay, so it'll probably be closer to the 0 mark. So 0.112 has 3 decimal places, and 7.2 has 1 decimal place. Okay, so the product has 3 plus 1, or 4 decimal places. Okay, so when I multiply this, I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. I carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 7 times 1 is 7. And 7 times 0 is 0. Now I add them together. I get 4, 6, 10, carry the 1, 8, 0. And I'm going to move 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get 0.8064. Okay. All right. So there are 3 try-it problems on this page, A, B, and C. Go ahead, pause the video, try out the try-it problems. When you're done, we will come back and go over the answers together. All right, now that you've had a chance to try out the try-it problems, let's go over the answers together. So letter A is 5.7 times 2.8. So I multiply. Okay. 8 times 7 gives me 56. I carry the 5. 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 5 is 45. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. I get 1596. Okay. 5.7, there's 1 decimal spot there. 2.8, there's 1 there. 1 plus 1 is 2. Move my decimal over 2 spots, so I get 15.96. Okay. Letter B says 4.12 times 0.05. Okay. 5 times 2 gives me 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 5 times 4 is 20. And I get a bunch of zeros at the end. 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. Okay, I add these together. Okay. 4.12 has 2 decimal places. 0.05 has 2 decimal places. 2 plus 2 gives me 4. So I get 0.2060 as my final answer. Okay. Letter C is 0.014 times 3.7. Okay, so when I multiply these, 7 times 4 is 28, carry the 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And then I have 2 more zeros. I add these together. 8. 9 plus 2 is 11. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay. So 0.014 has 3 decimal places. 3.7 has 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So I get 0.0518. Okay. So the second portion of this lesson is multiply decimals. So when multiplying a decimal by a decimal, I multiply as with whole numbers. To place the decimal point, I find the sum of the number of decimal places in each factor. The product has the same number of decimal places. Okay? So that's just a review. There's one more try it problem that I want to, there's a couple more examples I want to look at. So the first example over here is 0.067 times 1.4. When I multiply, I get 00938. There's 3 decimal places, 1 decimal place, 3 plus 1 is 4. So I get 0.0938. Okay, the next one that they give us is find 0.45 times 0.053. So the product will have 2 plus 3 is 5. So 5 decimal places. I can annex zeros as needed. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1. 3 times 0 is 0 plus 1. Okay. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 2 is 22. Carry the 2. 5 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. Add these together. I get 5, 8, 3, 2. Okay. And I'll have 5 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to add a 0, annex a 0 in there. So I get that. Okay. So this is the same thing as saying I can multiply the whole numbers together. I can always double check. So 0.025 or 2385 is my answer right now. So let's check and see if I get the same answer if I multiply just the whole numbers. Okay. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22. Okay, I'm moving my decimal 5 places. I have to annex a 0. So I get 0.02385. Okay, there are 3 try it problems. Go ahead, try them out. See what you get. Once you're done, come back and we will go over the answers together. So letter D is 0.04 times 0.32. So I'm going to just take and multiply 32 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. There's 2 here, so that's 4. 2, 3, 4. Annex to 0. So I get 0.0128. Okay. Letter E, 0.26 times 0.205. So I'm going to take 205, multiply it by 26. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 0 is 0. Plus 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. And 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. I have 2 decimal places and 3 decimal places. That gives me 5 total. I have to annex to 0. So I get 0.05330. Okay. Letter F, 1.33 times 0.06. So I'm going to take 133 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 1, or 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 decimal places, that's 4. So I move my decimal 4 times. I annex to 0, so I get 0.0798. And that is the end of lesson 4.